They keep on doing processes, they get their quality checked, and they get their salaries. Here is nothing different as such. When it comes to in the morning, there's a bell, kids go in, then the entire thing happens. Now, there was a purpose for doing that when it comes to saying that, okay, we need to have a discipline in work, we need to have outcome in work, we need to have this in work, lot of, I would say, inputs need to be given. There should be a lot of compliances that need to be done. All these things were given as a this thing. Now, because of that, what happened was factories have changed from the factories which used to be there in 1812 to now the robots are running factories. There are no more people who are running factories. Very few, there'll be very small companies only who are running factories with men. But most of them are running factories with robots. And in future, we don't know how many people will really work in factories. But when this is thing happening, we have forgotten that there is a 40 years of work life that is there. This entire education was given so that people start enjoying their next 40 years of work life. Now, what happened is when we asked the 33,000 students, tell me what you want to be. What have you decided what you want to be? 78% said, I don't know. Yeah, I'll take up education, that was for sure. Okay, I'll either take up engineering, I'll take up medicine, I'll take up something. The aims which we asked them, many people said, I want to do JEE. Now, the question was not about that. That is what you will get educated for. What do you want to do in your life? I mean, this particular question was asked to them. 78% said, I don't know. Whereas 22% said, okay, I'll be an engineer like my dad. I'll be like an officer like my dad. I'll be an army officer like my dad. Okay, something like that, which they already heard. And they are not even thought about what saying that, okay, this is what I want to do. Now, what is happening is a normal child from a good school would spend 18 years in education, starting from the age of 5 to the age of almost 23. And if you're doing a PhD, further 3-4 years. So around 20 to 20, 18 to 22 years are going to spend in education without knowing what you want to do in life. Sad story. Now what happens is, just imagine, you're going for a picnic or a holiday and you don't know where you're going, but you're just going. Similarly, this is what is happening. Where are you putting your effort for? Why are you putting that effort for? Whom are you going to put that effort for? Whether you would know whether you want to be happy or not. Just taking up qualification doesn't make sense. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, career education has not been a part of this particular, I would call it as our entire, I would say, our entire curriculum. What has happened is we started giving information about physics, chemistry, mathematics. There's a lot of information input that has been happening to kids. That is wonderful. Okay, they are getting ready for the world of work. But are they really getting ready for the world of work? Have they chosen where they want to work for? Have they chosen what they want to be in life? Have they chosen what they want to be, what will make them happy? Unfortunately, when we ask these questions, there are a lot of doubts get created in your mind saying that I'm not so sure whether they really know what they want to do. I have kids coming to me and at the end of 10th standard and say, tell me, uncle, why do I need to really study? And that question is a very deep question. And I'm sure 10th standard students over here and all the educators are facing this problem. They may not ask this directly, but then indirect things have been asked in this entire thing. So because of this, what is happening is something very interesting happens. We say, okay, you're going to put a lot of money into education. Parents are going to put a lot of effort, energy, expectations. All teachers and educators are going to do a lot of work with those kids for 18 years. But just imagine the kid doesn't know why he's he doing what he's doing. So where are the efforts going? And because of which, what is happening in our country is we are at least now so many engineers, and our estimate is 4.2 crores of engineers are sitting at home who have taken up degrees but don't know what to do in life. There are medical students who are unemployed. There are law students don't know and don't want to do law. There are architectural students who say, that is, I have done my qualification, I don't want to do architecture. The effort and the energy which is invested into this particular thing, including money, is going for a waste. And the country is not getting benefited, nor is the individual getting benefited. So, career education, as a part of it, we took that initiative as Dheya, and we said, now we will now run a career education and career literacy program across the country. And today we are running it very systematically in various schools, as well as we are doing it on a regular basis. Now, if people are not educated on careers, they don't know how to use it. Just imagine you got an instrument with you. Okay, you got something with you. Let's say you got a very sophisticated, I would say laptop in your this thing, but you don't know how to use it. So you got a good knowledge, you got good intellect, you got good, I would say, strengths in you, but you don't know how to use it. Does it make sense? And that you're actually investing into getting that particular instrument for 18 years. Doesn't make sense. So what we're trying to do over here is we're trying to put some career literacy in the minds of kids so that they get ready to contribute to the world, not only to the world, but to themselves also, and be happy. That's the whole agenda today. Okay, let's do what's happening. When we talk about people when they're choosing their careers, when I say careers, most of them choose go to a mass lecture saying that how to get into IIT or how to get into what they call it as I would call it as uh, how to become a doctor. Yeah, everybody gets influenced, and suddenly there's a big force for getting into the engineering side, and they say, okay, engineering is the only thing. There's a mass lectures happening. Now, unfortunately, counselors have only focused on education. That's a very unfortunate thing. Most of the counselors will say, okay, take up arts, science, commerce. They don't tell you what you want can be in life, unfortunately, because they don't have the knowledge of it also. The third people who are actually pushing these kids are the admission counselors, thinking, okay, I'll get you admission into one of the universities in the United States, or maybe this thing. People get absolutely kicked up about it, and that's how they choose their life. Most of the kids choose their life based on the subjects which they go through. I don't like maths, I don't like physics, so I will take up commerce. Not that he wants to do something in commerce or want to do something like a businessman, but they choose that. And there's a blind social media that's actually quite strong as an influencer. On most important thing, the parental pressure. I think your parents say, because all the parents who were in 90s saw the engineers doing well, so now they want their kids to be in engineering. But the world has changed completely. Robots are coming in, and we'll talk about what the future is. Now, because of this complete force of these kids, okay, where education equal to career has been a kind of a thing, unfortunately. So when you click a photograph with that degree in your hand, you feel good about it. But now you don't know because you have worked 18 years to get that degree, but you don't know how to use it. Okay, that doesn't make sense. So we get an unproductive degree holder, and that's the problem. And that's what we don't want to allow that to happen, because we are one of the most youthful nation in the world. We are the maximum youth population. Now let's see what happens because of that. Because of just the focus on education, okay, without making an entry, today there are a huge number of people who are queuing up in, say, job fairs. They have got degrees, okay? They have got degrees. If I see the photograph it put in front of you, again, you can see those guys who say, okay. So, of course, the political parties get a lot of challenge, I would say, bad for force to walk into their processions and all that. But what is happening here is today we have got highly qualified youth, okay, are, if I go to the statistics, of course, maximum number of people are going for post-graduation, graduation also. So they've got degrees, but I'm not so sure, are they prepared for the industry? Do they know what they want to do? Which industry do they want to work for? How do they want to work for? Nothing. So what happens is there are more and more job seekers than job givers. And this is the reason what is happening is today there's a huge kind of chaos that is being created just by one thing, that overly focusing that on the 18 years and not focusing on the 40 years of work life. Now you will say, how do you do that? How do you actually focus on the 40 years? Now let me start off with a small example. Say a group of people want to travel for a vacation. Now let's say we want to go to a place called Kashmir where there's a lot of snow. How will we go? We will take warm clothes. We will build our, I would say, uh, we'll build our complete uh, ecosystem like that. That will take gloves. We will take caps. We will take inner clothes. We will take jackets. We'll take all warm clothes, and then we will go to Kashmir so that we get into that particular thing. That we are preparing ourselves to do something in life, in that for enjoying that particular vacation. Will you do the same thing for going to Goa? For Goa, you'll be wearing some skinny clothes, you will be wearing some t-shirts, you'll be wearing some shorts, you'll be wearing some chappals. You may not be even wearing, not even a single cap. But for Kashmir, it's just the reverse. Now, the question over here is when people don't know where they want to go, what are the clothes they're wearing? If I don't know where I'm going, what type of preparation do I need to do? Just taking up a degree and deciding where to go doesn't make sense, right? So all the kids over here has to decide first thing that मेरे को क्या बनना है life में? What do I want to be? Now it's not so difficult. We will give you how to actually go about choosing what you want to be. So remember, all kids, you have a choice. Either you be a part of the crowd or create your own path. Now, part of the crowd is something like this, where you actually go and stand in a job fair with degrees. And I'll tell you some statistics. Very last to last year, in Pune, there were around a lakh of engineers who came for a job fair. 230 got jobs. Sad story. But there were 500 companies who had come to do that particular thing, and they just collected their resumes and they just walked away. Just imagine you gave your resume for, then 1 lakh people gave resumes for around 5 companies with 2 pages resumes. So 1 lakh into 2, okay, into 5. Around 10 lakh papers were printed and distributed in that place, and only 230 got jobs. Sad story, but I don't want you kids to do this particular thing. So I'm going to give you some tips. And with Naveen, we're going to talk about something very important. So you always have a choice, either to be a part of the crowd or create your own path. Okay. Now, what does career mean? So Naveen, I think you can start off from here now.
Yeah. So see, I would like to share, thank you so much for the introduction, ma'am, when you gave, but then I'll share a little bit of my story for the children, especially out here. Me and Anand are kind of opposites. Anand was a complete sportsman in his sports child in his young days, never interested in academics. And I was the complete opposite. I was only into academics. And I used to only study a lot. And I used to get good marks. I was very good in maths, very good in science, and that was my favorite subjects. And as anybody who's good in maths and science, the direction points towards engineering. You're right. So we all thought, I also thought I want to get into IIT. I started preparing for IIT. And I went through my lowest period of life when I did not crack the JEE, which happens with the lakhs and lakhs of children. Okay. 12 lakh children sit in that IIT exam and only 10,000 clear. What happens to the rest? And though I was very intelligent, though I really believed that I will definitely crack the IIT, but I could not. And then I was lucky at that time, we didn't have many choices like the present children have too many choices. I did not have too many choices. So I started applying like desperately for every single place. I used to live in a very small town, which is even smaller than Nagpur, in a place called Bareilly in Uttar Pradesh. And I was born in a colony. So my aim in life was to somehow get out and get into a professional college and do well in life, as any other kid or any other parent would want their children to do. And I was pretty much part of that. And I somehow was lucky that at that time, since I did well in my 12th standard, I was in a CBSE board and I scored about 85% marks. And that was pretty good score in those days. I'm talking about 80s. And I was selected for the SSB interview for the Navy, the 10+2 technical scheme. And I joined the Naval College of Engineering as a cadet. And I did my training in the Navy and I became an officer. Okay, so that was my life. And somehow I went through. But then when I did my engineering, and what happened is I finished my engineering 4 years in the Navy. But then the good part of it was, as soon as you finished your engineering, we were sent on board a ship. And when I went on board the naval ships, I was suddenly shocked because I had to handle engines. And in the entire 4 years of my engineering, I did not know what an engine was. I mean, we only knew to solve numericals. We only sat in classrooms. We kept on solving papers after papers, and I scored very high in the engineering exams. I was one of the toppers. Everything happened. But when I entered my ship, my boss told me, boss, keep all your books aside, take a screwdriver and go down and go to the engine room, trace every single pipeline, put your ear on this engine, listen to the engine noise. So that is where my real education began as far as engineering is concerned. Unfortunately, I'm an engineer. I'm a master's in mechanical engineering. I topped my master's degree. I did my master's from Pune University. I'm very good at academics. But if you ask me if engineering was my passion, I do not know. I was a very good engineer. Again, I did very well in the Navy. I was a designer. I designed engineering systems. I have done very well in my engineering courses. But if you still ask me if engineering is my passion, I do not know. Last 6 years, I've been into Dheya. I've been pursuing my passion of working with youth. I've been training mentors. I've been doing psychometrics. I've been designing tools. And I think I'm enjoying this work right now. But I didn't have any kind of guidance when I was young. My only fear was somehow I have to get a job and I have to settle down. That was the fear in my mind. And somewhere, all of us, even today, have the same fear. I think a lot of people will resonate with what I'm saying. The moment you enter into this 9th, 10th standard, this pressure comes on us ki kuch karke take up a good education and get a good job and survive in this world. So still this survival lies in our mind. What Anand had to bring out here is that the time has gone for thinking about survival. The time has gone, because if you think of survival, you're going to go down. The opposite thought is important here. If you want India to become Atmanirbhar Bharat, in the words of our great Prime Minister, what he keeps saying, that we have to become Atmanirbhar Bharat, and this lies in our youth's hands, then our youth, our children here have to start thinking differently. What do they have to think differently? That they have to do something big in life. And when can you do something big in life? When you are happy doing something. You cannot be doing something great when you're not happy doing it. For example, if I'm not enjoying what I'm doing right now, I cannot do well in that. Even if I do well in that, I'm going to be forcing myself. And you're going to work 40 plus years of your life. My young age, a lot of senior people out here, their young age, we did not have this kind of mentoring or guidance. So we took up whatever came to our hand. But when it comes to this generation, I think it is imperative that everybody starts thinking, what can you do well? What will make you happy? First question is, what will make you happy? Second question is, how do you connect yourself to where you can really do well and you can really build something of yourself? So career is not about the education, which is just a path. Career is about the destination. Like what Anand brought out, if you're going to Kashmir and somebody sends you on a bus to Goa with all the clothes that you've packed for Kashmir, you know what's going to happen, right? You're not prepared. Other way around. If you're prepared for Goa and somebody sends you off to Kashmir, you're gone, because you're just not prepared. So that's exactly what it is all about. So what is going to be your destination in life? And when I say destination, it is not necessary that you have to do only one thing in life. Today I'm working in Dheya. I'm a commander from the Indian Navy. I've served on the submarines of the Indian Navy. I've done design. That has been one part of my life. After I left the Navy, I've been in Dheya. I've been doing a lot of mentoring. I also am a marathon runner. I also train people for running. I also conduct running events. I'm a race director of the first ultra marathon in Maharashtra. So there are a lot of things in life that each one of you can do, and you must be good at doing. Identifying your potential to do something is very important. Now, if you're young today, understanding what makes you happy is the first point, and then connecting up to a destination is the second point. So without knowing what you are, without discovering yourself, because what we believe and what we have seen is every single person out there, see, I'm different, Anand is different, and I'm sure Jayashree ma'am is different. Everybody here is different individuals. We are all different. But each person, if you understand this difference that you have in you is unique, and there is a huge potential in these unique qualities of yours. If we identify those unique qualities and we understand those unique qualities and we are able to connect those unique qualities to something in the world of work, which is where the destination will start getting set in your mind. And we do not know, nobody can pinpoint and say you should do this or you should do that. We don't believe in that. What we believe is there is an inner voice in every single individual, and by the time a child touches 13-14 years of age, which is the right age, because moment a child becomes 13-14 is when a child is actually moving to adulthood, which is when the child should be given the inputs to say, okay, this is me, this is what I am, and this is what I would like to create in this world, and build a big dream, build a big aspiration. When I ask engineers, I used to go to a lot of engineering colleges after I left the Navy, and I used to ask these youngsters, who are your role mentors? Who are the role models of yours? What do you want to do? Whom do you look at? Whom are you emulating in this world? And I was surprised. Even today when I ask youngsters, people are giving me answers like, I want a good job, I want to be a manager in a company, but everybody wants a lot of money. Every youngster wants to have a big bungalow. Everybody wants a Lamborghini. Everybody wants to drive the biggest cars. But when you ask them their aspirations of job or work, they will say, I want a good job in a good company. Okay. And only one name, not one guy will come and tell me that I want to create my own firm. I want to do something great. I want to win a Nobel Prize. I want to win the Olympic gold medal. I don't get those answers. There is a serious problem in the mindset of us. I don't blame anyone for it. This is how we have grown as a country, and we need to change. When I say we, including all of us need to change our thinking and to say we have potential, we can make it big. If we have a support system of all of us together, we can do it. So career destinations have to be set with aspirations, not just like that. It's not just about doing a job. It's not just about doing a work. It's about feeling good about yourself. It's about doing something for which you feel worthy of and contributing to the world while you're doing that. So that's the destination that we talk about. Yeah, over to you, Anand.
Okay, now there are some small tips I'd like to give them, on how to actually choose a destination. Okay, like what Naveen said is, okay, he said, I was very good at academics. He was, but then not necessarily that what he actually learned, was, 100% got used. Okay, and when it comes to practically, the life is completely different. Now, the whole thing is, remember one thing, we started with this 1840 kind of I would say 1840 kind of a scenario where 18 years you get educated and 40 years you work. Now, remember, in that 40 years, you are actually engaged 24/7 in work, knowingly or unknowingly. You sleep for work, you wake up for work, you do these things for work. Now, your choice of work which you're going to take up is going to be actually deciding whether you're going to be happy in life or you're going to be sad in life. Just imagine for a situation. Now, there are different types of personality. Now, somebody is very restless, cannot sit at one place. I'm sure most of the educators will say, "Abbe, ek jagah baitho, baitho ek jagah pe." You must have heard this particular thing for those kids. There are somebody who's very talkative. Chup baitho, shut up, don't talk. You must have heard this also for those kids. Now, there are kids who are completely silent. There are kids who are, very notorious. There are different sets of kids. Okay. Now, what happens is we need to accept them as they are, and they also have to accept themselves as they are, because everything has a utility. For example, if I take a restless kid who cannot sit at one place, can choose something that in work that makes that kid roam around the world. Like I was a restless kid. I could not sit at one place. Now, if that time there would have been something called as ADHD, they would have said that Anand has ADHD. But what happened was I went into sports. I played to the national level. Okay, I walked the RD parade. I did everything in the NCC. Also joined the Navy. Okay, now and also represented the Navy for sports. Now just imagine that restlessness was so well utilized that even when I came to the corporate world, I traveled through the world. I traveled 21 countries. Rather, now the lockdown has just put some shackles in my legs. Otherwise, I would be traveling every month for at least 10 days. Now, this is my work because I love doing that. Now, just imagine somebody would have told me, Anand, listen, you should be a software engineer. You know that you are you're very good at, the setting systems and all that. You're pretty intelligent. You're actually developing those, processes. Why don't you become a software engineer? Now, just imagine the work of a software engineer where I had to sit for 9 hours a day in front of a screen and keep coding. Will I be ever happy? Now, the question over here is understand what are you good at or what do you really enjoy doing it? Know your personality. Whatever you are wonderful, accept it. Please don't reject yourself for whatever you are. Now, what happens is if a restless kid goes in comparison with a highly academic kid like Naveen, okay, I would have been getting a complete inferiority complex in my life that I'm not good at academics. But Naveen is Naveen, Anand is Anand. Everybody is different in this place. And choose that difference and accept that difference because nobody can change your uniqueness. You are the only one, you are unique. Now, this is written in our scriptures. Your swabhav is cannot be changed. In Marathi, there's a saying, okay, swabhavala aushad nasta, which means nature has no medicines. Okay, your nature is your nature. Accept that you have this nature, number one. I'm not talking about being indisciplined, okay? That's a different structure. But then, whatever you are good. Now, if you know yourself, choosing your destination becomes very easy. Since I love doing this, I will do this in this particular field. Now, when we talk about the field of work, it's completely different. Okay, there are too many fields because 20 years back, chartered accountancy was the top field. Accountancy was a top field. Today, there's no accountants in organizations. So be very careful. So we'll come to that particular thing. But remember, choose the work which exactly matches your personality. Once you decide what you want to do in the world of work, what would you like to be known as, what you like to be in the world of work, what should be your identity. Once you know it, your path becomes very clear. Education is only a path to reach there. Please remember this. Education is only a path to reach what you want to be. Education is not a destination. So if you take a degree called engineering, you don't become an engineer. And actually, Naveen would share, about the engineering kind of a thing. We did very recently a webinar, and they said that 93% of the IIT engineers don't do engineering. They do something away from engineering. That's a sad. Why did you take a better degree? Am I right, Naveen?
Absolutely. In fact, I had a friend of mine who said he's from IIT Kharagpur and he said 350 batchmates, including Arvind Kejriwal, which is one of his batchmates, says only two people are actually doing engineering work. Remaining, most of them are into politics or investment banking or somebody's making movies or everybody has gone into different lines. So then why spending 4 years in a technology institute doing solving numericals and this thing? So the whole point is decide your destination. You're intelligent, you're definitely intelligent, but you don't need to study for 4 years in an area which you're not going to use in the 40 years of your life or 6 years of your whatever education is left. You have to study that which you have to use in your 40 years of life. You will become excellent in it and you will become one of the top guys in the world. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. If India has to be number one in the world, we have to start early. We cannot delay it. He will finish engineering and then decide what is to be done. It'll be too late by then. If you want to be number one in the world, have a headway. Start at the 9th standard level and decide what you want to be. So that's the point. But then, as Anand brought out, step number one as the tip for today is to know yourself. Okay, that means each person out here has got unique strengths. So I'm sure if you ask in your class, there will be somebody who is very aggressive, like a gunda, okay, who keeps bullying people. I'm sure there are people, okay, generally they are in the backbenchers. And a lot of people must be telling them that they are too arrogant and they are like, but then there is a use for them also. These people are very good at becoming say, for example, becoming a commando in the army and going across the border and, destroying the enemy forces. They're the best people. They can be great construction managers. They can be great people who can manage the construction projects. Today, highways are being built across the country. So you need somebody who's really aggressive to ensure that the work is done on time. You got to be forceful. So, the energy is there, but this energy needs to be channelized in the right direction. So every person has got a utility. There are some people who are very quiet, silent, and meek. Okay, like my elder son is like that. And, everybody used to tell him that he's a loner and he's quiet. And most teachers used to say that he needs to socialize. So we said, why? If this guy is a deep guy and he wants to be a researcher, he wants to sit alone, he wants to be a musician, he wants to create his own music, does he need to socialize? He can be on his own. He can create something of his own. You don't need to be a socializer to be a NASA scientist who is finding out the next planet in the universe or finding out studying dark matter as energy. So every single individual, whether you're aggressive, whether you're the first step is know yourself, discover yourself. I know everybody knows themselves to some extent, but know yourself very deeply. List out 100 properties of yours, 100 qualities of yours, and be proud about those qualities. You are talkative, you are damn good. You can go on radio and you can talk. You can go on TV and you can talk. You can start your own channel. You can be a great broadcast journalist. You are a very silent person, you can be a great scientist. You are a very aggressive person, you can be a great commando. You can be a police officer. You can do so many work. You are very good at drawing. Somebody is very creative, very good at drawing. You can be a great designer. You can be you can design the new, the drones, or you can design gadgets. You can design anything. Design is a big field. So start using your own strengths. So discover your own strengths. Those days are gone that everybody only has to be good in academics. Only then you can do well in life. No, it's not true. Academics are important. But along with academics, knowing your strengths and knowing what you want to create in this world is even more important. And then when you start studying academics, you will find that your academic performance goes up because you are now excited about reaching somewhere. When you're excited about reaching somewhere, you start putting interest in what you're doing because that academics gets connected to your destination. And that's the point I'm trying to make. For example, somebody is very good at geography, but not good at maths. So you know what? This guy who's very good at geography can be a great geoinformatics scientist and work for Google and create maps for the world. So if you're going to create maps for the world in Google, obviously you got to do well in your studies. So this person will start putting interest to ensure that he goes and joins Google. So destination connect to what you are good at is very important. So number one, understand yourself and discover yourself. That's the first tip, Anand. Anand, over to you.
Okay, now comes the field of work. Let's talk about where do we really want to go? Okay, fine. We are talking about, what work do I choose? Now, for example, let's take a person who's very good at drawing or very good at writing. Let's say that the writing is a good example. I can write for the newspapers. I can write for the advertising agencies. I can write for the, I would call it as for the internet. I can write for the blogs. I can write for technical writers like manuals and all that. I can also write for, I would say, a book for myself. Now, the question over here is, which field do you want to choose? You may be good at writing, but you need to use that particular thing in a field where the whole thing is utilized. Now, the world of work is changing at a very rapid pace, thanks to the automation or maybe the personalization or miniaturization which is happening to the world. And completely the world of work is changing. Suddenly, I'll tell you, 6 years back, in a company where there were 6,000 workers, there are only 60 workers with all robots working with them. Okay, there are transitions which are happening. The worry over here is, if you are not going to look at your future, because I'm sure a 10th standard student is going to actually start working after 6 years from now. Now, what happens in the 6 years? The world has changed completely. Now, if you start only depending on the academics part of it, you will be redundant by the time you're at 6 years from now. Where the world as work has changed, but you have got educated in something which has completely changed the demand of the world of work. So how do you get into that? Very simple. Like Naveen said, set your destination, decide what you want to do in the world of work, and now start preparing not only by academics, by only by yourself. There are many avenues. You can take up internships. You can take up. Now you will say, "Oh, is it too early for internships?" No. 10th standard students can go for volunteering, no problems. Go and work for some NGOs, work for some places. Now, once you set your destination, start developing yourself apart from academics. Do academics plus do your self development. Now, self development will include you're developing your personality, developing your I would say lifestyle, developing your knowledge, and developing your skills. All four things. Okay, start developing it, but every development should aim at what you want to be. I'll give you an example. Okay, let's say I want to be the best. I would say I want to be a good army officer, and I'm in 10th standard. What should I do? First of all, once I decided I want to be an army officer, why should I be an army officer? Yes, I like to go and I'm fearless. I'd like to go and face the world. I'm actually, I'm very patriotic by nature. I also have a lot of qualities of being a leader. Okay. And now I've started my journey to become an army officer. Will I keep sitting for 9 hours a day and increasing my weight? I'll say no. I have to give my NDA. For that, I need to have my fitness right. I need to have my education right. And I start preparing myself to become an army officer right from that day when I decide. The later you decide, the time is gone. So the earlier you decide, you get time for preparation. So it's as simple as that. So when you know that you're going to prepare for becoming an army officer, you will start running in the morning, you keep yourself fit, you will start studying for NDA, you will take up all the subjects that are required for National Defense Academy examination. You'll do everything, you'll meet those people, you will also spend that much time only for doing your examination so that you make a right entry. Yeah, where academics plus self-development makes a lot of difference. Now, just imagine that you decide on the just 1 month before applying for NDA that I want to sit for NDA. Will you be able to pass for it? No. Say, let's take another example. I want to be a innovator at say Apple, and I want to do some innovations there, and I want to be known as an innovating scientist who innovates. How will I start? Very differently. I'll say first, this is what I want to become. I'll start doing online courses. I will do a lot of reading of futuristic books. I will start working on projects. I will go and join some startup. I'll do work with some excellent ideators. Now, this doesn't require money also. It requires only your initiative and a good plan. The faster you plan it, easier it makes to do this. While doing that, I've also become an engineer. And from while I become an engineer, I also do a lot of innovations on the way. I participate in projects and all that. And at the end of this thing, you have a degree plus a lot of projects, a lot of work experience, and you know exactly what you want to do in life. Your entry into Apple becomes more easier if that is the thing you want to do in your life. Let's say a third person wants to become an entrepreneur like us. Now, the entire path is going to be different for that particular person. So, when that particular path is going to be different, choose that path of development, but destination is important. You don't carry warm clothes to Goa, like the example which we gave. Similarly, you need to decide where you want to go and accordingly prepare yourself. Today, the only problem we have wonderful people, wonderful kids. They have good talent. they have good potential, they can do very well in life. The only problem is they don't know exactly where they want to go. Once you decide where you want to go, you have reached wherever you want to. You already started in the journey in that direction. Now, in that direction, there'll be a lot of people who will be pulling you here and there. Don't worry about it. You are unique. Choose your own thing into that. Now, the last part is the contribution you want to make to the world. Now, remember, people, if you don't contribute to the world, nobody's going to use you. Nobody's even going to care for you. You cannot remain a selfish person just taking up something and saying that, okay, this is what I will do for myself. But the minute you start working for the world will help you grow. Now, that's a tip which I would like to give you. Okay. Now, since the world of work is changing, you might have to even start off thinking about saying that, will there be jobs in 2030? I don't know, but there will be a lot of work because jobs is already dying concept. Okay, people will not hire you for a salary. They will take you for an assignment. Okay, there are a lot of on-demand work which will start. And this is going to be very, very important. So the better you're skilled, okay, the more the chances of earning more. So start building those skills, start building all these things. Now, to summarize this entire thing, starting from this thing, what we said is, number one, accept yourself the way you are. Every three tips, accept yourself the way you are. Know your strengths, not your weaknesses. Nobody even cares for your weaknesses. Okay, they only use your weaknesses. So you need to know your strengths. Once you know your strengths, once you know your areas of interest, once you know what you're good at, choose what you can do in the world of work for 40 years that can utilize what you're good at. Okay, because you are such a wonderful person, so you need to be utilized in that area. Once you know that this is what I'm good at and this is what I love doing it, this is what I'm very good at doing it, you start growing, you start earning better, your money comes better, your lifestyles become better. Okay, you start building assets for yourself, everything will start happening there. Okay, and number three, just check whether you're going to be useful for the society or for the country or for the world or for the humanity. Now, these are only three tips we would like to give you as a part of career education. Okay, now be prepared for the future because the future is changing at a very, very rapid pace. So you need to look at 10 years from now or 7 years from now, what will be the best thing to happen? For example, we were just yesterday talking to one of the kids and said, okay, in future, there will be vertical farming because the land is only one. How many people will eat in the same land? We need to have layers of land and create these farms. So when we told them, the kid went back, discussed with his parents and said, I would like to do vertical farming. Okay, and that is something which is very, very critical. You need to know what might change. Okay, so we keep being aware, keep being connected, keep talking to this thing, keep attending those career awareness workshops, future workshops. We have a lot of webinars that are going on. We are running a complete career labs for youngsters. It's a kind of a 12 session program plus another thing. Please keep attending those so that you are aware of what are going to things are going to change so that you can maneuver your career so that you become a great person and be happy in life. Everybody wants to be rich, everybody wants to be happy. But the choice is with you, not with anybody else. Nobody else can make you happy than you yourself. So take your own decisions and work with yourself. Over to you, Naveen.
Okay, Anand, I think we have crossed the time that was given to us, and I guess it's this 1 hour, it's a very big topic. So we have tried to do justice to whatever we can in the given time. And I think we have touched upon the topic of career awareness. It's just a kind of a macro perspective of what career awareness is. However, if you let us speak, we can speak for the entire day. So with that, I would first of all like to thank ma'am to have given us this opportunity to speak to so many of youngsters as well as the educators. It's a real honor for us to be here in this session. So over to you, Jayashree ma'am, for the proceedings of the session.
Much. Naveen sir and Anand sir. I love your words. You said education is a path where you want to reach. It's not a destination. Very true, sir. You also said enjoy what you are doing in life. Connect where you are going. Career is a destination. Enjoy your journey. Identify your unique quality. Don't reject yourself. Every human being is different. It's unique. Very well said. That's very, very true. I hope all the children have enjoyed the session. Yes, children? Thank you so very much, sir. Gratitude is a fuel, a medicine that spreads its fragrance of joy everywhere. On behalf of GH Raisoni Vidhya Niketan, as a lead collaborator school under Hub 1342, I take this occurrence to thank Shri Anand Desai and Shri Naveen Badrinarayan sir for their proficient and remarkable session. I would also like to thank all the respected principals of lead collaborator schools and their representatives, Ma'am Radhika Mehra, Ma'am Kavita Nagarajan, Ma'am Sonia Walia, Ma'am Dipali Mehrotra, Ma'am Uma Bhale Rao. Though these have all blessed us with their support and presence. A big thank you, ma'am. We are fortunate to have our principal, Madam Jayashree Bhake, for her constant support and encouragement. Sunita Kalla, ma'am, thank you very much. Let me also take privilege to thank our technical team, Manish sir, Sandeep sir, Sudhir sir, and Abhijit sir, for their technical support. Without them, we would have not been able to accomplish this grand event. No event can be successful without people who dedicate their resources and time to make sure everything is faultless. Yeah, Mr. Tarun Kumar sir also, Director COOE Pune. Thank you so much, sir, for your support. I would also like to thank all our teaching, fraternity, and ancillary staff as well. Last but not the least, a big thank you to all dear children for your active participation and making this event a massive success. Thank you so very much. Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry, excuse me. Hello. Anand, sir.
Yeah. Anand sir is just, I'll call him
Sir,
back.
just a second.
1 minute.
We would like to have a small query if any children is having, anybody is having.
Sure. We'll
Are
answer.
you there?
Yeah, we are there. I was about to ask question and answer is
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry for that, sir.
No problem.
No problem. We are there.
We are there. We'll answer.
Yeah.
the question.
So like you told us to choose our careers as we like. So
Right.
all jobs do not provide good economic returns. And sir, all of us obviously want to become rich and want to have some economic growth. So if all of us would choose the richer options, then what about the construction workers and farmers? Would you like to encourage such low wage job opportunities, or what you would like to say upon it?
Yeah. So very good question, and I think it's a very apt question to be asked by a young kid. And I'm so glad that you're thinking in that direction. So that shows that you have a lot of compassion in your mind and you understand what they are going through. But having said that, let me answer this question to you, because this is something that we talk to a lot of people. And in this country, there is a problem. It's called the dignity of labor. Okay. If you go to European countries or America or somewhere there, working with your hands is not considered, or it is not an underpaid job. Okay. It is only in India where till now there is a problem of dignity of labor. Having said that, if you just look around, you will find that, if you're talking about economic growth, no, it is not true to say that people who are working as, say, in a certain domain, if you really want to earn wealth, there are huge opportunities in this field. For example, in the present scenario, if you look at urban clap, you're all aware about urban clap? You're all aware about the people who come to your houses to clean to repair your washing machines or to repair your fridges. These are all skilled people, okay? And there is a huge dearth and a demand for skilled people in the world today, because there are a lot of people who are sitting in classrooms and doing studies, but very few people who are actually good at doing what they're doing. For example, if something breaks down in your house, you're not going to be looking for an engineering degree. You'll be looking at a person who has got a reputation who can come and repair your place. And as the time goes by, the next few months and few years, you're going to see there's going to be a huge demand for people who are skilled, and they can earn a ransom. They can earn a ransom for themselves. So economic growth is definitely linked with the skill. So it's a gig economy that we talk about. Okay. So don't at all worry about it. See, construction workers are not going to be there because the industry is changing. If you understand, if you look at the proactive future, 3D construction has started. How many times do you see those laborers who are used? Earlier, there used to be camps with laborers carrying this cement on top of their head and all. It's all gone now. Now you have, modules coming up there. You have machinery coming up there, and construction happening in a modular way. But then there are people who are doing that work. So the whole scenario is changing very fast. What is important is for us to understand how to adapt to the scenario. And I'm not saying that only rich people or rich urban children will be getting that opportunity. We are working with the rural children also. Even the rural children are very bright, very talented, and more importantly, they have a fire in their belly. So when you see the sparkle in their eye and say that I want to create a building greater than Burj Khalifa, you know that India is in the right place with the right kind of brains. And if we give them the opportunity and give them the aspiration and hold their hands, you will find these young kids becoming the greatest people in the world. So there is no dearth of economic opportunities. So don't get unnerved by what is happening around. Yes, there are pockets of poverty. There are pockets of problems that people are facing. But what is more important is how do they think that they can become rich, and how do they use those opportunities that are available to them. That is what a young mind should be thinking about. This is my take. Anand, over to you.
Yeah. Now let me tell you something very important. Okay. We are a very youth-oriented country. We are a lot of young population. Do you know that worldwide, if you look at China is aging. The age is going up. Europe is aging. Okay. Now just imagine a construction worker with a bit of a skill on doing, say, 3D printing construction. You know what that person will go through? That person will be in demand in a place like Germany, where in the next 10 years, there'll be maximum old population and very few workers to work for. Now, the choice over here is, don't say that the construction worker is poor. He might even come and, rule you tomorrow. So don't worry about it. Have dignity of labor, what like Naveen said. More importantly, build skills in yourself. Only knowledge work doesn't only lead to you to being rich. It could be any work that could be rich. And I'll give you an example what happened. Few days back, I was looking for a plumber in Pune for my house, and I could not find one. So one day I was just going by my car and I saw a board written there, plumber ka number. So I said, plumber ka number. I immediately wrote it down. I called my wife and told her that, why don't you take this particular number and call this plumber, let him come. The plumber said, I'm busy, but I'll send somebody. But I insisted that the person himself comes. So I asked this person, he said, I'm from a place called Kedrapada. I did my plumbing ITI. And today I have 300 plumbers under me. And I service entire Pune. Now, who's rich? Who's rich? Now, economic success can come to anybody. Please remember that. Okay, whoever has the higher skill, has the business knowledge, has the ability to have some entrepreneurial thinking can become rich. Okay, don't worry about the economic success. They will choose to do that. What is more important is we as students have to actually earn a lot of, I would say, skills so that we stand for the future. I'll tell you, I always work with a site which is a lot of freelancers called Fiverr.com. 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 Now, there are freelancers. So I got my video done from a freelancer from Bangladesh. I got a video done from a freelancer in Sri Lanka. Okay, I just got it done from them. And you know how much I paid? I just paid 1,000 rupees to get my video done. Why are Indians not there? Because Indians don't have the skills. But I can get work done from a Bangladeshi who has a skill. Please understand, if you build your skills, there will be people who will hire you. If they hire you, you will become economically successful. Okay, so I'll
Thank you,
over to
sir.
you now.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
My question is for Anand, sir. Sir, as you told that you were the restless kid in your childhood and you went into the sports field. So, did you face the setting in the sports field?
What did it? Did you?
Corruption setting.
Setting means
No,
in
I'll tell
your
you something. I'll tell you something very interesting. Okay. See, it's up to you the way you want to look at it. People blame on all the setting or the corruption or maybe the politics in the sports field. Why? Because they don't actually compete well. If you are really talented and you are actually doing very well, nobody cares for politics. They want the best person to play. Okay. Those who don't get it say that he's been doing some setting. Okay. Ultimately, talent is important. Okay.
No, it is. I would put it this way, beta. It is in spite of politics that you have to do well. Okay.
And that is going to be there.
Settings is going to be there in the world everywhere. You know, in the Mahabharata, there were Kauravas and there were Pandavas. Pandavas were few, Kauravas were many. But Pandavas had to fight the battle. Similarly, in life, you have to fight a battle. There will be negative forces, there will be corruption, there will be setting. But if you are very good, you will still succeed. Look at any good sportsman, they have all gone through the settings and they have all made it in spite of that settings and corruption that you're talking about. So have faith in yourself, have faith in your work, and keep putting in effort and keep persisting. You will always succeed. Remember this.
And if you look at cricket, right from Irfan Pathan, okay, to a person who is from a very small village like Joginder Singh, okay, to Dhoni, if you have a talent, these settings will automatically fall back. Focus on your talent. How do you build more talent? How do you build your persistence? How do you build your energy? That's how it works in this particular place.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Anand. Thank you, Mr. Naveen. It was an enlightening session this time. Every time we have been associated with Dheya, our students have taken back lot many things home. Not only the students, the staff too. There are 6 more schools who have joined in today for the session, and we are happy that the director COE Pune, Mr. Tarun Kumar, had also joined. He has joined us through the YouTube channel.
Okay.
I would like to open up the session for other schools if they have any questions. I can see the Center Point and SDVM school also. Any other school with other questions? Z Mount Litra. So one request to be made, just in case they are not able to pose their questions. Can we compile all these and send it across to you?
Please do, please do. We will respond to you.
Thank you so very much, sir. I think there's one more question coming in from my school now.
Sure. Love to take it.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. I am Hansika.
Hi, Hansika.
Question. that so many people say that पढ़ाई हो गई तो उसके बाद मजे ही मजे है. So is it really true?
Now I'll give you my example. I used to hate studies better. Completely hate studies because I used to, whenever somebody used to make me sit and study, I'd be running away to play something. Now what happened is, I also was told, एक बार पढ़ाई कर लो, बाद में life set हो जाएगा, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. This was told to me. So I said, wherever there is low studies, I will choose that career. So I said, let me join the Navy. Okay. So I said, somehow I did my BSc Physics from Ferguson College. Now you don't tell me Ferguson is the top college. I got into college because of sports quota. Okay, let me tell you that. Okay, I made it to BSc Physics and did my NCC. I played my nationals. I did my everything. Walked the RD parade. Participated in the best cadet. Won the best cadet. Everything happened. Everything was fine, fantastic. Till that time, I said, let me join the Navy. And when I joined the Navy, the number of books and the number of studies which I had to do increased multifold. And let me tell you today, after so many years of work, I'm still studying better. If you see my library, I have only books and books to study, nothing else. Today I study I read minimum of 2 hours a day. Because if I have to be updated with my career, I have to study. If you want to keep playing, you have to keep polishing your skill every day. You have to keep doing it every day so that you be the best. The minute you stop studying, you stop learning, you become redundant. So remember, take studies as a part of enjoyment. Don't worry. Okay, मजे ले लो पढ़ाई की. Okay, पढ़ाई के बाद मजे नहीं होते, पढ़ाई में ही मजा होता है. Learn some new things. Say, okay, if you're talking about physics, learn about different things. Learn about optics. Learn about do your own studies. Okay, then you'll find something very interesting. I'll tell you, I've been a yachtsman, and you know what happened to me? In my physics, I did my project on yachting, vector physics of yachting. Now, can you imagine vector physics of yachting? I did it because I was so passionate about yachting. I connected physics to that. The minute you start enjoying studies and connecting it to your passion, you will never feel that you're studying hard. You'll only enjoy your studies. Let me tell you that. And I'm doing it today. I'm doing it today. You know, almost every day in a month, I read around 3 to 4 books. That's my regular thing now. I'm today morning, every morning from 6 to 7, I attend a course on Bhagavad Gita. And I have to give my notes in the evening. Okay, it is just not a course. I have to submit my assignments. But I just love doing it because the more I study, the more I learn, the more I grow. The more I grow, more I earn also. Let me tell you that also now. Okay. Now it doesn't matter what you study, okay? If you are a plumber and you keep on doing more advanced level of plumbing, you will earn more. Remember that. Please do not consider that plumbing is a bad job. If you are a construction worker, the earlier thing was, I do better construction work. I do new techniques of construction. I do automation in construction. I keep on growing. Remember that. So don't ever think that padhai is a problem. Padhai is only an opportunity. It's a wonderful thing people should do.
Thank you, sir.
Forum is open for other schools also. If anybody having any questions, any other schools, SOS, Center Point, they're also associated with us. They're connected.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, everyone. I'm from Center Point School, Amravati Road Bypass. My students, they have put up a query that can one choose any one science subject even after opting for humanities?
Yes, why not? Now the liberal education has started. And if you go out doing after 12th, you can choose a liberal studies, liberal arts. where you can choose between different subjects, including just one science subject. Okay, that is how you can do it. And with new liberal education and the new, education policy after it's implemented, a lot of flexibility will be there to choose the subject which you want to do.
And see, in the present scenario, if they are in humanities and they want to do some science, the option is that there is a thing called NIOS. I'm sure they'll be aware about it. So you can always parallelly register for NIOS and you can give a science subject examination and you can qualify for that. So that is another possibility.
Thank you, sir. And one more, they just want to know how to balance between academic scores and extracurricular activities.
So this is very simple, as Anand rightly brought out, if you start enjoying your academics, because I keep telling what happens is, see, my children are also in college and one is just entered college and one is in school, 11th standard. And for the last 5-6 years, what I've been telling them is studies is not difficult. What happens is we tend to make it very difficult because many times what happens is the syllabus and the curriculum becomes like a burden on the minds of children, because it is broken into too many topics and the book looks very fat and all that. So it's like a more of fear phenomenon which happens in a child's mind. So what I tell them is, studies is very simple. In fact, your curriculum is so simple that 10th standard is meant for, the passing marks are 35%. That means anybody can pass the exam very easily. Even a little bit of intelligence, you can easily pass it. So you should be looking at cracking the paper and not even worrying about it. So take studies as an easy thing. So keep telling yourself it's very simple, it's very simple, it's very simple, and it works out that way. So, it's like a psychological factor which works on the mind of children. So you have to work on the psychology more than actually worry about the subject. What happens is teachers put pressure, parents put pressure, and the poor child comes under heavy burden. So if we can ease out that load, saying that it's not so difficult, it's very easy. So half the problem goes out there only. After which you just have to sit down and learn the correct concepts, learn few steps. And even if you study just 1 hour a day, and I'm not exaggerating, if they study just 1 hour a day, you'll be ready for the exam to do very well in your exam. Both my children have studied only 1 hour a day. They even continued playing during the exams, including board exams, and both of them did well in their exams. Both have got their marks in the 90s. So it doesn't matter. Not a single person, both of them did not take a single tuition. No tuition, no coaching class, and they were able to do it. Why? Because psychologically we made them feel studies is simple, studies is simple, studies is simple. Just study it. There is the internet available. There is enough information available. Go and search for the information, learn the concepts, and just do whatever you understand it the way you understand it. You don't have to get bogged down by the processes, by too much of steps. Don't get bogged down by it. Understand the concepts, get the concepts clear, and learn how to crack an exam. So there are two techniques. That's it.
Now, he comes from a very studious background. Let me come from a very non-studious background because I was never into studies. I'll tell you what happened to me. When I said I want to join the Navy, one of my coaches said, listen, you have to take up either physics or mathematics in your graduation. Now, trust me, both my subjects, whether physics or mathematics, were the most hated subjects in my life. But to become a naval officer, I have to study it. So I actually did very well in both the subjects. I got a purpose to why am I studying, what am I studying. Now, most of the kids, unfortunately, rather almost 100% of the kids don't know why they are studying. You give them a purpose. Say, I want to become a nanoscientist. So accordingly, I'll study biology. If I want to be a dancer, I will have to crack my 12th standard in humanities and then go for my dance school. I have to have a purpose. Why am I doing what am I doing? Now that comes to career planning. You need to know what you want to do, why you want to do it. The minute every child knows about it, and that's an effort all educators need to do, especially to tell those kids. I'll give you a small example. Like Naveen talked about geography as a subject. Now, if I was supposed to teach geography, first thing I will tell the kids about geography, listen, geography is used in 5 areas. Number 1, it is used in what we call it as climatology. Okay, most of the climatologists work in these areas. Okay, so the best climatologist works as a air traffic controller. Okay, they also work for Google. They go work for BBC World. You see those, or all the news channels use climatologists to talk about this thing. They also work for the government of India and tell them that, okay, listen, there's going to be rains, it's going to be there. Okay, there are meteorologists, there are climatologists who work together. Now, if I love geography, I will also do what I call it as, become a cartographer and become a map man. If I love geography, which is the most, people don't like geography because of social studies. Okay. But if I love geography, I can also become a tourism expert. Okay. I can become an expert in navigation and work for the merchant navy. Okay. It's all geography. And lastly, if I still don't want to do it, I become a geoinformatics expert. Okay, now what happens is I'm connecting my subject to becoming somebody. The minute every child connects their subject to becoming something, they'll have only two things. One, some subject they do by choice. One, they have to do it to just qualify. Now what happens by choice? They will do very well. To qualify, they will still do very well because they want to achieve their goals. Now this career planning method has to be done for every child. The minute we do it, you will see a complete change in the way they look at academics. They'll say, okay, I'm doing this because I want to become somebody. I'm doing this because I want to become somebody. The minute they attach their, efforts to the outcome which they want to achieve, you don't need to push them from behind. कि बेटा पढ़ाई करो. They'll say, अच्छा मुझे ये पढ़ना है इसलिए मैं कर रहा हूँ. Now this is a reverse way of handling this thing. There's a little different perspective in terms of education. Okay, instead of telling them to just take up a degree or take up a 10th standard certificate, we tell them you are taking 10th standard because you will do this in life and this is going to be helpful to you when you go up. That's how it is. I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir. I'm Gracie Anthony from GH Raisoni Vidhya Niketan. Sir, I have a query. How do new education policy can bring changes in career? Will it bring any changes in career?
Now, very frankly, I'm not a very big fan of the new education policy. Okay, because I have some concerns about that. However, whatever is the effort been put up on flexibility of education, okay, where you can choose different subjects, okay, that's really wonderful of the new education policy. I think that will give the complete different perspective of this. Second, in the new education policy, they are talked about like gamifying or maybe experiential learning. This is another good point that has been brought up in the new education policy. So these are two things that will actually change the way kids are going to learn, and also they're going to choose what they want to be. The only problem is in the new education policy, the destination based or outcome based thinking about education has not been included. Though we have written to Dr. Kasur Rangan, but unfortunately that didn't get incorporated. But yes, experiential learning and I would say flexibility in subjects, both put together will create a lot of change there in the careers of kids.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. I'm from Mount Literacy. Sir, you said that you have started the initiative.
Hello, we can't hear you, sir.
And mental fields and students.
Yes.
Am I audible, sir?
You're breaking off in between. It's not very clear.
Okay.
You can switch off your video and just use the audio. I think your bandwidth is a bit low. So you can switch off the video and let's speak.
Okay, sir. My name is Harshavardhan Kamble. I'm coordinator from Mount Literacy School, Nagpur. One of the student, Maithili Kale of 8th standard, she's asking a question. Everyone says that it's very difficult to understand, which is difficult for them So
No,
how?
we didn't get the question. We didn't get the
Your
question.
question is broken in between. Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, sir. Maithili Kale of 8th standard is asking, everyone says that teenage brain is very difficult to understand, which is difficult for themselves as well. So how do we even find our passion?
Okay.
Okay, lovely. Very beautifully said. Huh? I'm telling you, Maitri, you have asked a fantastic question. And now let me explain to a little bit going into details, okay? Now, I'll tell you, on a daily basis, you like something and dislike something. कुछ अच्छा लगता है, कुछ बुरा लगता है. Now, what happens is, you make your decisions based on likes and dislikes. But then as you go up a little bit, from some millions of likes and dislikes, you will have some hundreds of things you would like to do and not like to do. So you suddenly come to few things, say, I'd like to do this, I'd not like to do this. Now, those things you like to do, you keep on doing it again and again, so you become an expert in that. You enjoy doing it because you love to do it, and also you are good at it. Now that is, we call it as an expertise level interest, or maybe a little higher level of interest. Later on, you start going to a mastery. You say that these are 3-4 things I'm really a master in doing it. That came from your likes and dislikes. I'll explain through an example also. And then you say, that's my passion. There's only one passion. Now, how do you go about doing it? Let's say there's a child who wants to play football. He says, I love football. Now, the question is whether you like to play on the FIFA games, or you want to actually pull up your socks, put the shoes, go into the ground and play. That's doing. I love to see football. I'd like to, watch football. That is one thing. But do you really like to do things in football? That is very important. And if you like to do it, you keep on doing it, you become an expert. Since you love doing it, you become more and more expert. And the day you say, I cannot do, I am a master in kicking the ball, you become a topmost expert in the football. And then there you say, this is my passion. So this is a self-learning journey. You need to learn what you love doing first, not what you like and dislike, because likes and dislikes are mostly guided by the external world. Suddenly I show you a beautiful picture, you'll say, I love it, but not necessarily would like to do something in that area. And when you start doing things, you will start learning that and start listing down that this is what I love to do. And then you go up to become an expert, and from expert, you become search your passion into that after mastery. And that is how you go about searching your passion. Now, you made a statement saying that the teenage brains are difficult to understand. Don't worry, you are under transition. You were a child few days back, and you are going to be an adult very soon. So you're that transition kids, okay? We call it a transition kids. Enjoy this time. Trust me, I'm telling you, somebody is thinking that you're a child, but you're not a child. Somebody is thinking that you're adult, but you're not an adult. Okay, in this time, the most important thing is not to get diverted. Have a goal at this moment. Okay, because this is the only time you might get diverted to various attractions in the world. Okay, and that could change the way you will look at life. So be careful during this time. Enjoy the time. Choose what you want to do in your life. Okay, at this moment, and start working towards it. This is the time you start learning socially. Okay, remember, you learn only twice in the year, maximum twice in this entire life. One is during 0 to 5 when you do sensory learning, like ye garam hai, ye thanda hai, with your fingers and senses, the colors and all that. But you learn more from the age of 13 onwards till the 21st year. That is the social learning. And this learning is the best learning you can ever get. So have an open mind, have positive company. If somebody is doing something wrong, put some good habits during this time. Okay, the minute you do it, this will live for entire life. Okay, so it is not a difficult brain to understand. It is just a wonderful brain to watch. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. One more question is there, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, one of our teacher is asking, how to overcome the situation when the parents expect us to go for a reputed field or a course. But if the students, they are not interested in that. So how to minimize gap with the parents, or how to handle this peer pressure?
I will tell you first of all, sir, till now we have done career guidance for 4.5 lakh students. Okay, we have been in this field for last 16 years. Okay, and with my experience, what we have started is now we are training all teachers and principals, and we are certifying them as career gurus. This is a very, very, I would say, minimal kind of a thing. We are only charging 500 rupees. The reason why you're charging 500 rupees because initially we did it free. And one of our senior, like Jayashri ma'am, is one of our senior career gurus. Okay, she's been there a pioneer in this entire field. Okay, she has started taking a lot of initiative on careers, and she's our career guru. She has got trained, she's got certified, and she's the one who's actually leading a lot of things in this place. So I request every educator to take first the entire program of Career Guru and understand what is career and all that. Once you understand this, you will be able to deal with the parents automatically and tell them what is important and what is not important. Most of the times, I'll tell you something, sir, parents are not aware of various options. So what happens is, within the limited option, they say this is a reputed one. Okay, for example, all the parents who had their young days in 90s saw their friends going abroad with a software engineering degree. Now, are people going now with software engineering degrees? Today, I can hire a software engineer in 5,000 rupees a month. That's the situation of a software engineer. So these things should be, parents should be made aware of the changing world and all that. When you can do it, when you yourself become, as a principal and teacher, become a career guru. We invite you to become that. Okay, this is a very, very important program. 12-hour training starts every Wednesday, 4 hours every day, 3 to 7. And then when we do your own psychometrics, we do your entire pathing, and then we'll help you with that. Now, if the parent is there, once you understand this, you will be able to explain the parent very well and convince the parent also very well. This is a request I'm asking you to do.
Thank you, sir. We would definitely like to enroll for this career guru course. We will contact you definitely.
Please, sir. Please.
Thank you for the answer. Sir, in general, this thing, career awareness and counseling related things, how to reach to parents, okay, when we are conducting, if we do this thing at the very early stage for the parents, then it will be more helpful.
Yes. So we'll be happy to do parent workshops. Let us know. We have 3,000 mentors who are all very senior. Okay, if you Lankesh Gandver, who's now with us, he's also one of our senior mentors. And these all mentors are very senior. They are all spread across the country. Every month, we select mentors to join. Okay, so that is how these mentors are. And they coordinate with our career gurus together, and we will do parents workshop, because this is not a problem of an individual child. This is a nation's problem. Okay,
yes, sir.
If our youth are not directed in the right direction, they will take wrong direction. And that will be very disastrous for us coming in the 10 years. So that's the reason we should say we should all work together to help them do this particular work.
Yes, sir, definitely.
The question from any other school? Hello? Any school, if I want to ask anything, they can send it across. We can compile it together and send it to Naveen sir and Anand sir. Is that okay, sir?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, even our children have some queries, but we can compile it together and send it across to you.
Sure, sure.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
So thank you so much once again, Naveen sir, Lankesh sir, for the coordination. We have around a huge mass of 700 plus students who have participated today through YouTube link and directly also through WebEx. Thank you so very much, sir, for your wonderful, wonderful session. I hope this session should be for the parents also, especially because they, know, some of them are like they don't believe in their child's dream. So such kind of session should be for the parents also. And I request ma'am to please keep one session for parents so that they can also enjoy it and know and be aware of it. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ma'am. Thank you. Nice, nice. Thank you.
People liked it.